Okay. Today is June the 7th, 2022. This is the SOS Mastermind Group Workshop. Our focus today is cost optimization strategies. I'm Charles Wiles with the SOS Business Strategies Group, and we work with organizations to help them improve their performance. And through our team of experts, we can offer companies the opportunity of seeing a broad spectrum of opportunities unfolded at no cost. Our guest speaker today is Chuck Moyer. And Chuck, would you introduce yourself, please?
Sure, happy to. I'm Chuck Moyer. I'm currently a franchise owner in a company called P3 Cost Analysts. Okay. Prior to this, I was CEO and a C-level operator for 6 respected middle market distribution companies that generated more than $1 billion in investor value. This included 3 successful private equity engagements, 4 sale processes, an IPO, and I've completed and integrated more than 40 acquisitions. Today, I serve on the boards of Robex, a private equity-owned industrial automation platform, Pathfinders, a nonprofit serving homeless youth, New Barons Brewery, a local craft brewery down the street from me. So why do I tell you all that? Okay, first of all, like you, I'm an operator. Okay, in my career, I was one of the best at taking costs out of a business. Okay, yet the things I'm going to talk about today are things that rarely came up to me as opportunities to address. And as a result, I left a lot of things on the table. So later on in this presentation, we talk about P3. I'll clue you in on some of those things.
Thanks, Chuck. Before we get started, I want to give you a little bit of background in that the purpose of the Mastermind Group is to provide executives and business owners an opportunity to work in small groups with their peers, address the common challenges that they find, and learn more from each other on how better ways to improve their leadership. The benefits of that are it provides an informal, personal board of advisors that he can consult with, independent and diverse sounding board for executive issues that participants may have, better informed decision-making, more effective visionary thinking, one-on-one executive coaching and business mentoring is part of the process, and these strategic transformation, both personal and professional. If you're interested in joining the mastermind groups, please get in touch with me. Today's mission is to discover new strategies to lower the costs and increase cash flow. Our path of doing that is discover new ways of how to lower the current operating cost, and some of the critical issues that we'll address include discovering areas of opportunity, unlocking cash flow from expenses that you already are paying, no upfront cost to do the analysis and determine where the opportunity is, and reduce the overhead man hours for more important tasks. What are some of the challenges? Seeking a more competitive pricing, hedge against inflation, as Chuck pointed out, know the market value of the overhead costs, increase profit potential, and more. What will it take to succeed? That's what we hope to present today. Where do we start? Let's start with the fundamentals of business, the areas that affect the business underlying value. These include cash flow and profit and sustainability. But what is the key to those successes that we're looking for? And there are 3 primary areas. There's the foundation, which deals with strategy and the resources and the missions and values and goals. Next is the functions of the company and its leadership, its cost, its sales, its transactions. And most importantly then is the balanced scorecard from the financials, the metrics, the cash flow, and increased profit. Alignment is one of the most important things of any organization that goes by the wayside because people get so involved with the do, they forget about the rest. And what we find is the it can be customers, it can be culture, it can be growth, it can be financials, but you've got to start with a strategy. And the strategy covers the vision, values, and the plan. You then have to have a structure that's in line with the strategy. You have to have processes to deliver the work to the customer. Rewards in order to motivate the people and recognize behavior. You have to have people, skills, behavior, and all of these are important, but most importantly is leadership, because leadership makes it all tie together. And if the crosswise connection of these individual areas does not deliver results or be in line with each other, then the strategy is nullified. The hierarchy of alignment, we've always heard that success needs to be defined and it carries down to the team. But more importantly, we need to make sure that the team is feeding up those results and successes back through the organization's critical success factors to produce success. Today's world, strategy is the focus. Customers are the target. Leadership is the direction. Culture is how it all gets done. And when these four areas merge with each other, they create an alignment. You know, and culture is not just one aspect of the game, it is the game. It is the, in the end, the organization is nothing more than a collective capacity of the people to create value. And it's also the most powerful driver that an organization has available to its leaders to assure success. Chuck, I'd welcome you at this time to give us an overview of where you're going to help our customers and the participants in this video find cost reduction opportunities.
Okay, Charles, happy to.
Hold on a second.
Can you see my screen?
You now have the screen.
Awesome. Good. It looks like I'm sharing. So I'm here today to talk about my company, P3 Cost Analysts. Okay, we've been around a little bit over 30 years. We've completed successful audits in more than 30,000 customer locations. We do business in all 50 states, Canada and Mexico. And more than 90% of the time, we deliver meaningful cost reduction results. There we go. Okay, the basics of what we do is, first of all, we help you unlock cash flow from expenses that you're already paying. Okay, there's no upfront costs, there's no risks, and very little investment of your team's time. Now, that last part is really important. I've used cost savings consultants myself in the past, and basically have found that they've taken up a huge amount of data and other supply chain resources and so on. In this case, we take very little time, and I'll show you how. The areas that we address, okay, are basically areas that in the companies that I was with, when it came to budget time, our CFO would basically plug in these expenses, okay, or most of them, okay, maybe mark them up 3 or 5% for inflation for the year, and they give us a budget template with this stuff locked down, and we would figure out how to meet the budget, okay, based on other things, okay. At the time, we just didn't look at these things as opportunities to cut costs. What I've learned since joining P3 is, in fact, there's tremendous costs in these areas that people are generally overpaying, okay, that we can help you release. So those areas are telecom, electric, gas, water, sewer, waste, okay. If you've got fleets of copiers and printers, managed print, anything to do with industrial laundry, uniforms, rags, people like Aramark, Cintas, UniFirst, the mats and first aid kits you see from Cintas, all very, very good areas for reducing costs. If you do B2B merchant processing and a good volume of it, okay, basically we can help you optimize interchange fees all to level 3 and greatly reduce your merchant processor billing. Okay, we can help with property taxes. Okay, if you ship a lot of stuff, FedEx and UPS, okay, you've probably noticed that the headline price increase for these companies was up about 6% this year. But if you take all the surcharges underneath of that into account, most people are seeing about a 14% increase in freight. Okay, it came right into the end of the year, very hard for people to budget for, and I know it's a hardship. We can help with that. Okay, and then we have a very interesting capability called vendor payment solutions, where basically we can take your accounts payable feed, okay, we can turn most of it into a one-time credit card payment that we process for you, okay, and we return to you a rebate. Okay, if you're interested in that, my contact information is at the end of this presentation. I'd be delighted to talk to you about it. So how do we work? Basically, you provide us with invoices or login credentials. So if you notice, almost all the things that I mentioned are things where companies commonly have login credentials. You and I probably have them at home for our cable and electricity and so on. It gives you access to the invoice history, might allow you to pay bills. Okay, if you give us credentials, we just self-serve all the stuff that we need, so it takes up very little of your time. Okay. Our auditors, okay, will basically audit and come back and present you with a plan. Okay, we don't do anything until you approve the plan. And once you do, we go execute it for you. So we'll work with utilities or the waste management companies, whatever, to bring you your savings. Okay, then each month, okay, we audit again. You receive a report detailing that month's savings. And the savings are always based on rate, not volume. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so let's say, and you're not, okay, but let's say that you're paying $1 for a kilowatt hour of electricity. We can help you get it to 50 cents. Okay, we would take credit in our arrangement for the 50-cent reduction. Okay, but if you put halogen lights in and drove your electric usage in half, okay, that's not counted in our calculation. Okay, and then we invoice you after the fact each month for 50% of the savings. So essentially, okay, you've paid nothing up front. Okay, you've given the opportunity to pick and choose the savings that work best for you. Okay, we deliver the savings, and then after you're already getting them, we'll bill you back for half. So it's basically generating cash out of things that you're already paying. Okay, and in any given month, no savings, no invoice. Okay, our auditors are special. Okay, they all have extensive experience with the vendors that they now audit. So for example, our people that do uniforms and linens come from Cintas and Aramark. Our people who do small packages were the pricing people who you may have negotiated with, okay, at FedEx and UPS. These people have very deep domain expertise and they understand intuitively where to find the savings. Okay. In addition to that, through all the 30,000 plus engagements that we've had, okay, we've got databases that tell us the bottom of the deal. So when we go looking for what should the deal on freight be or on waste be per container in Cincinnati, Ohio, our databases tell us where the bottom of the deal is, and it gives us a great place to start negotiating from. Okay, and then we understand how to work with vendor systems that are generally designed to discourage negotiation. So just interestingly, okay, with UPS and FedEx, okay, they won't allow a third party to negotiate with them. Okay, what we've learned to do is basically work with our clients to help them negotiate with those companies via email. Interestingly, we found it takes about 15 email exchanges over 3 or 4 months before we can get them to the bottom of the deal. And basically, almost everybody that sets into those negotiations gives up long before that and pays too much. So that's just one example. Basically, there's 3 ways we get paid. Okay, the first is what I just described, 50% of savings after the fact, billed monthly. Okay, for 60 months. Okay, the second is the same. Okay, except that if you feel like you'll sell your company or there's going to be a transaction, I do a lot of business with private equity companies where that's always in the future. We give you the opportunity to true that up at the end of the transaction. And the third is really 100% of first year savings paid in a lump sum once the savings are implemented. Okay, and in that case, okay, you can get past the payments faster, but we don't include the audit services. So that's something that we can discuss if it's something that you're interested in. Okay, here's an example, okay, of a current customer of mine. They're about a $30 million aerospace machine shop, okay, and they happen to be located in the Denver area. And I won't go into all the details, except that here, if you can see my cursor, you look at waste, okay, we saved them 45%. Okay, on Cintas, we saved them 50%. On their merchant accounts, we save them half. Okay, a nice savings on telecom, something decent on electric and gas. Interestingly, they had been overpaying taxes, okay, because they are a manufacturing facility forever. So in recouping the last 3 years, we got them a rebate of $36,000 and a savings on their electric of $10,000 a year. So, basically in all the categories that we could help them with, they had $346,000 a year of expenses. We saved them 21% or $74,000. Not terrible. Okay, another example, kind of stated in a bit of a different way, family-owned, $150 million multi-branch distributor. Actually, this is Automation Products, a company in Milwaukee that I've gotten to know. And basically, we provided them with $270,000 of annual operating income, net of our fees. So after they paid us, okay, they had $270,000. Okay, and for them, okay, it was the equivalent to more than $3 million revenue increase with no associated operating costs. Okay, so they're kind of going, well, 270,000. I don't know, that doesn't sound like a lot to us. So, well, how about a $3 million sales increase for two days of somebody's time? They go, oh yeah. So we did that. Okay, and it worked out really well for them. Okay. Here's my contact information. It'll also be on the YouTube. And Charles, if we could put that in the notes, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I think that gets us to questions and answers.
Thanks, Chuck. Let's go back to where we are and kind of capture what you passed on to us. Hang on just a second. Can you summarize for us, Chuck?
Yeah, I absolutely can. Okay, I think that really, in summary, okay, what you need to know is that we help you unlock cash flow from expenses that you're already paying. You're already paying these bills. You're overpaying. Okay, and it's really hard to work with like your utility company or your waste management company to get that cost optimized. We're really good at it. Okay, we do it so that you have no upfront costs. You risk nothing. Okay, and I take up very little of your team's time. Okay, in return for that, we share in the savings after the fact. So you're always cash positive.
That's great, Chuck. I can see some real opportunities with some of the clients that I have and others that may participate in this video and learn from it. What I'd like to do is see if there's any questions. The speakers are myself, Charles Wilds, and Chuck Moyer. Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your input, and I'm sure my clients that view this for us in our group, which is the SOS-advisors.com, will also benefit from your feedback.
Awesome, Charles. It was fun. Great to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Take care.